All right, boys. Here's a take. AI, or by extension, the singularity, is a false god that right now, in the world today, thousands or even millions of people are worshipping and offering praise and placing hope in that it's going to come save them. But I'm sorry to tell you, it's not. So, first, I reckon we get into this by defining what is the singularity. Some of you may not have even heard of this term and have not realized that a lot of the talk that we hear in the modern day in the media about AI is hinged on this concept of the singularity. And that's basically that AI, right now, we're using LLMs. That's another topic. I have a video on that, previous video on that, if you want to check out. But LLMs, or let's just call AI for this video, are going to reach such an advanced point that it's going to surpass all of human capability. So right now, obviously, it's able to spit out words and information faster than any human being alive by far. But eventually it's going to get to a point where it's just not spitting out words. It's actually, they say it's going to be intelligent and it's going to be able to think and process and reason and learn faster than all human capability combined. And we can talk about whether that's possible or not in another video, but that's basically the concept of the singularity. Yeah? It's advancing at breakneck speeds. Once it becomes that advanced, then it more or less achieves triple O, which is omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence, which is fancy words for all-knowing, all-powerful, and ever-present. Basically, this is describing God. That's what they're saying it's going to become. That's what they're hoping it's going to become, which is then, after it's established this godhood, then it also enters into this salvific, the salvation kind of realm where it's going to come and save humanity. It's some kind of a second coming of God that is our creation, but it's somehow going to save us in the form, in the capacity of a creator, of a God, which then leads to eternal life, because then through that you unlock the downloading the consciousness onto the machine, which then means we can live forever. This God is also all powerful. It's advancing so much faster than anybody can keep track of. It's now become all powerful. It has all the knowledge in the world. It's become all powerful. It can solve any problem and it can make anything, it can get anything done, and it's everywhere at once, because that is the three O's, right? And for any of you that don't know, that is, like I said, the descriptor of God. Omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent. All-powerful, all-knowing, and ever-present. And how do they replace this? How does this singularity concept replace these qualities that are reserved only for a creator, for a God, for the true deity, for the true creator, intentional mind behind creation? Well, all-knowing is done by data. That's how they achieve that, in this little false religion that most people don't even know they're a part of. It's basically got so much access to data that it has a divine level of knowledge. Yeah. And then you've got omnipresence, which is everywhere at once, which is because it's plugged into the cloud. It's on the internet. So it's in the cloud, it's in all devices, it's in all homes, it's in all buildings, it's everywhere we go, it's out in the streets, it's in the satellites, whatever. Satellites is another topic, but that's omnipresence. And then omnipotence is the belief, which is the power. It's the belief that this thing will be able to solve all our problems. It'll be able to solve death, it'll be able to solve disease, and it'll be able to solve scarcity, which, because it's become so advanced and so smart, it starts running off and solving problems at these speeds that human beings can't comprehend of. Basically, they say, this is, by the way, this is their theology. They don't call it that, but this, I'm not just saying, I'm not making stuff up. This is all the narrative of the singularity. If you read the book Singularity, there was a movie about it as well. They made, I think, in the early 2000s with Johnny Depp. You can go and check up all this stuff. And if you think I've got anything wrong, feel free to correct me. But this is their theology. This is their framework for putting the hope and what their understanding of science and technology into this thing. And that's where they say it's going. So through solving all the world's problems, being everywhere all at once, and having all the data known to mankind, it then offers the salvific promise, which is salvation, which is also another concept stolen straight from God himself, and the representation of the Son, Jesus Christ, to come and save us from ourselves, which is the downloading of the consciousness. That's how they replace that. You download consciousness into this machine world, land, and then you achieve eternal life through that. So, as I've been painting the picture, these are all aspects of a divine being, a divine deity. Whether you realize it or not, your energy, if you have that, like, it's all well and good to use AI. I use AI myself. I'm not telling you it's like dangerous to that extent. But just think about where you're placing your hope and your faith and your time and energy. And when you're speaking about it to your friends, and when you're thinking about these concepts, and when you're thinking about how life is accelerating and how things are going, think about how much actual hope that you're placing in this thing. Because I know a lot of people are. They're placing that it's going to solve a lot of the world's problems, and it might solve a lot of them. But be careful not to place deity in it. Some of you will push back and think that it's fine to, but I hope that in this video I'll start to make you understand how this is a false religion. This truly is a false idol. It's a false God that people are placing their hope in, and they're actually replacing the real God with this thing, hoping that it's going to get them where they need to go without having to do the work, without actually having to align yourself with the true creator, which means that comes with sacrifice. That's what most people are running from. That's what I was running from my whole life. Is I want to believe, I see that it is logical, it does make sense, it checks out on many fronts, but I don't want to have to submit my will. I know best. I know pretty good myself. So, back to the AI. Basically, the concept of the singularity is that our creation will become so powerful that it will be analogous to a creator. And it will now start to create and do things on such a high level that it will be a God, that it will actually be able to achieve the 3 O's and become all powerful. And by that same extension, becoming a creator, which is a subversion. It's a circular reasoning. It doesn't work. That's your first clue that this is a false religion, because a creation cannot become a creator. So besides the fact that AI has limitations that it will never overcome, it is a false idol that people place their hope in. And without realizing it, they are repeating some of the same errors and the same patterns that human beings have been committing and participating in from the beginning of time. This is not new. This is not a new, the false God aspect is not new. I think it's first and second in the 10 Commandments is worship only the Lord your God and have no idols, put no idols before me, no graven images. This has been going on since the beginning of time. This is not a new concept. Human beings have an innate ability and an innate desire to place worship and hope and faith somewhere. Many people don't want to accept this. We've been going off in the comments on some of my previous videos about this, which I love, but a lot of people don't want to accept that they have a God. And it's not the real God. It's maybe money, it's maybe science, it's maybe technology, but you have a God. You just refuse to accept what it is, but you still put all the same faith and energy and worship into it. And like I said, this is as old as time itself. This goes back to the days of Babylon, where Nimrod built the Tower of Babel because he wanted to break back into heaven where he'd been cast down from, his forefathers had been cast down from, and he wanted to take revenge on God for slaying his forefathers in the flood. This is the same concept. It's a deification of a creation to become a creator, that it can somehow go and contend back with the creator and disobey him and overthrow him. It's also repeated all through time through false messiahs, and there are many of those, many false different religions that claim to have the newest prophet, or having a new prophet or a new revelation that isn't in line with the previous scriptures, even although it claims to be. And there are many examples of this. Some are very prolific, some are less so prolific, from Islam to to Jehovah's Witness and even this lunatic Scientology guy. These are all false religions. These are false messiahs. They offer the same false route access to the divine power and eternal life, which is what we human beings crave. And whether you know it or not, if you're a materialist, a secular humanist, you think that you're not interested in that, but at the same time, I bet you deep down you're waiting for technology, you're waiting for AI to become this God that you reject so vehemently. Did you ever think about that? So, and then also from the false messiahs, this is also seen in materialism and science. We place so much hope there that the scientific process is somehow divine or authoritative over all things, or even the technology side of things now, where it's developed. Now it's up to technology. Now we're waiting for tech to come save us. Come on, boys, are we paying attention? Really? Like, are you paying attention? Do you look back through history and you look for deeper truths in things, or you just see everything on the surface level and you think they're unconnected and it's all just what we can put in a test tube and bang a hammer on and measure and do these very simplistic. Don't get me wrong, science has helped us understand the world around us in vast and unimaginable ways. But if you don't understand that it's limited, then I don't know what to tell you. This is a limited concept. It's something that we created to help us make sense of the world around us. And some people argue that mathematics is uncreated, that it was discovered, but mathematics is still a descriptor. It's not creation itself. It's a code. If you ask me, it seems to make sense that mathematics is the code in the same way that a game developer uses code, or a coder, a developer of any kind, uses code to build their programs and their apps and their games. That mathematics, the underlying mathematics that we discover, could potentially be God's code. But that's a bit of a side tangent. Back to the main topic. We've done this before. Not only just once, we've done this all the way through history. We, as human beings, want to reject God and do our own thing, go our own way, and in the process, just end up worshipping false gods. That's why imagine the supreme being of all things existing outside time and space, the actual true three O's being, and he, in his first two commandments, says, worship me alone and take no idols before me. What does that tell you? On the surface level, it might seem like, oh, this is just some selfish, self-centered deity. No, he's trying to protect us from ourselves. From the thing that is as old as time itself. We can't help ourselves but to find these false idols and try and hope that they're going to come save us. When the real God, our true God, already did. But we don't want to accept that. True salvation, true peace, and eternal life, this is what we're looking for in these false idols, in the tech, in this AI. These are all already achievable. They're here for us to find. And it's all through Jesus Christ, who came as God in flesh to play this game, to be encapsulated to this flawed existence, play it on perfect mode, flawless victory, the whole thing, commit no sin, and then die for us so that we can have eternal life. Because no works of our own are going to get us there. Works of our own are always going to be flawed, and we're always going to sin. We're always going to do things against God, which we all do. If anybody's honest with themselves, you know you do it. You've told a lie. You've probably stolen. You may have done. You've definitely engaged in lustful activities, even if it's just with the eyes. A lot of people have committed adultery. There's layers to this, yeah? And there's many things that we do that is harmful to the world around us and to ourselves, but we keep doing it. And that's where Jesus Christ comes in. But somehow human beings just want to keep trying to replace him into the latest God. What's the point of this video? Which is the AI singularity. Is your false God? Is it your false God? It's many people's. So ask yourself that question. Who do you worship? Is it the one true God? Or are you even open to try and look for who that one true God is? Or are you just content to place it elsewhere? And then to the point of this video, is it tech? Is it AI? Is that your God? Is that who you're waiting to come save you? I'll leave it there. As always, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'm enjoying the comments a lot. And if you got pushback, push back. I like that. There's a lot of good faith people in there, some lunatics, but a lot of good faith people in there. And we're having some like great discussion. I really appreciate that. So for all you guys who are like engaging, even if you're pushing back, but actually being honest and earnest about it, I really appreciate you. I want you to know that. And then all the other people who are supporting and just the whole way it's taking shape, I appreciate it. That's pretty much it. Until the next one. God bless.